Hello and welcome back to Stories with me, Jesse. And today we're once again looking at the people who ask us to decide if their actions are justified over at Reddit/Am I the A-hole. Let me know what you think of these stories in the comments, as well as any suggestions you might have that we may just use in a future installment. Prepare yourself to reach an unbiased verdict, because we're getting started now. Our first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for blowing up at my friend who constantly makes comments about my boobs? I have big boobs. I'm currently a 52 kilogram, and there's nothing I can do to change the size of these things unless I have surgery. I'm also extremely shy and from a very conservative family, so my resentment and shame towards my bust is an ongoing issue. My friend Sarah is one of those unfiltered free thinkers who says whatever is on her mind. She's also slim, and her chest is very much in proportion to the rest of her body. We work together, and I'm always secretly jealous of how great shirts and tops look on her, whereas I feel I look very sloppy and unprofessional with oversized, ill-fitting clothes. Sarah has this way of always bringing up my boobs in conversation, starting off complimentary, but often ending with a subtle insult. She knows they're a physical feature I'm uncomfortable with, but doesn't let up. Examples of things she'll say is how my boobs look good now, but give it a few years and they'll be down to my knees. Ha ha ha. Or she'll show me comments on Reddit where people are discussing chest size preferences and most are commenting how they much prefer a smaller bust over large. Or just a general reminder of how work or men will never take me seriously because of my cartoon boobs. I know she's trying to have lighthearted fun, but it gets to me, and I've told her a few times to drop it before. Now we're working from home. We all have daily video calls and meetings. Uniforms are not necessary, and we can wear what we like. A few days ago, it was extremely hot, and I was wearing a lighter, more revealing top than my usual baggy cover-ups. During this video call, in front of 6 other colleagues, Sarah starts vocalizing her thoughts on my appearance.
Holy shit! Put those away! You look like you're in a porno! We don't need to see that first thing in the morning! Ha ha ha!
I was mortified. One other colleague laughed along, but the rest looked uncomfortable. I felt close to tears, made an excuse, and left the meeting. Sarah called me up half an hour later, asking me what was wrong, and I went off on her. Told her to go f*** herself, and was sick of her constant jabs about my appearance. I went on a 10-minute tirade and hung up. Sarah has been off sick since that day, and we haven't spoken again. I'm wondering if I was too harsh and maybe should call and apologize for my outbursts. Was I the a-hole? What? How can you even think that you're the a-hole? It's clear that your friend is the jerk, repeatedly taking jabs and making you feel uncomfortable, and I wouldn't even entertain the idea of apologizing to her. I would insist that she ceases further comments like this, or contact HR and let them know that you're being harassed. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Moving on, our next story is called, Am I the a-hole for taking away my friend's spare key after she went into my house without permission? So my best friend and I swap keys to our houses. In case of emergency, we can get into each other's houses. We've never had to use them except for once. She forgot her keys at home and I let her in. Anyway, over the weekend, my boyfriend went to visit his mother and I went grocery shopping for the first time in like 4 weeks. So the house was empty. My boyfriend and I have some BDSM stuff in the bedroom that we didn't put away because we were lazy and didn't think anyone would see. Since no one was coming over, not anything super insane, just a pair of handcuffs and a rope. Anyway, when I got home, my friend was just in my house, sitting in the dining room. No warning. She didn't tell me. I was completely blindsided. I asked her why she was in my house, and she said she had lost a necklace the last time she was here and waited until I was gone as to socially distance. But then, if entering my house without permission wasn't enough, she started lecturing me on the BDSM stuff and how it's degrading, and that I shouldn't let my boyfriend do that to me. We've never really agreed on kinky sex in the past when we've talked about it, so we had agreed just to not bring it up. But also, I'm not the one having stuff done to me. My boyfriend is the sub. I, of course, couldn't tell her this, because I didn't want to embarrass my boyfriend. I was super pissed, and I took her key and told her not to bother contacting me unless it was to apologize for violating my privacy. She said it wasn't fair to take my key back, but I just pushed her out the door and didn't listen because I was so mad. She's been texting me how she didn't mean it as a violation of privacy and was just getting her necklace. and happened to see but was worried for me. I talked to one of my other friends about it, and she said I should just let it go and move on, and that while I'm in the right, I'm being too uptight about it. I don't think this is just a let it go and move on type of thing. Am I overreacting here? Am I the a-hole? In my opinion, you are not the a-hole for being upset that your friend went snooping around your home when you weren't there. You treated keys as a safety precaution in case either one of you ever ended up getting locked out, but that doesn't give her the right to invade the sanctity of your bedroom or judge whatever kinds of kinky accessories she finds in there. I certainly hope you two can make amends. Moving on, our next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my son and daughter-in-law that they can't have another kid under our roof? My eldest son and his wife got married a few years ago. Initially, they moved out of state after their wedding for my son's work. Then things went downhill. My daughter-in-law got pregnant and quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom. Shortly after the baby was born, however, my son lost his job as well. Their savings drained quickly, and it was too expensive to live in their state. My wife and I said they could live with us while they got back on their feet, on the condition that they both got jobs. This was 2 years ago, and they've lived with us ever since. Both work, and while they don't pay rent, they cover all their own expenses along with the babies. Recently, however, they told us that they were planning on having a second child. My wife and I said if they wanted a second child, they had to move out. We love our grandchild, but we don't want another baby in the house. And to me, if they can afford another child, they can afford to move out. They said we can't tell them whether or not they can have another baby. I said if they're living in our house, I absolutely can. My wife and I still have 2 other kids living at home. My other son is a single parent as well and has a child, 4, who lives here full time. He has no plans of having more kids and is close to moving out. Would have sooner, but with the shutdowns, it messes up his search. We can't have another kid around here. Are we being a-holes here? Not even a little bit. It seems to be a recent trend that a lot of young adults are staying with their parents. To be honest, my wife and I even stayed with my folks when our son was born. But eventually, every parent deserves their time to have peace and quiet. Other than visits, of course. And you've been quite patient with them to move out, not make themselves even more comfortable with another mouth to feed. I empathize for you, once being the adult who overstayed his welcome, and hope that they respect your wishes until they find their own place. But I'd love to hear if you guys agree with me or not in the comments below. Our next story is called, Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter she's absolutely under no circumstances allowed to switch out my cat's food for vegan food, even though she's losing weight because the sight of normal cat food makes her sick? Sorry for the appalling title. My stepdaughter is living with my husband and I for the next year. She's an educated young professional who's saving up to buy her own home. Since she's moved in with us, past 3 months, she's become increasingly snappy and unhappy with how her dad and I run our lives. We aren't environmentally conscious enough because we don't compost our waste. We are negligent because we leave lights on when we leave our home for security reasons. We should switch to electric cars. We are contributing to the inhumane treatment of cows by consuming dairy. The list is endless. My cat Mango is getting to be an old-ass man, and he has lived a full life of eating whatever the f*** he likes. Obviously within what's safe for a cat, and he's happy that way. My stepdaughter is now insisting she will purchase vegan cat food because seeing Mango eat meat makes her sick. We feed him in the kitchen, and she will literally throw up /retch/ leave the kitchen if she sees him eat meat. She has lost a lot of weight since claiming that seeing Mango eat meat makes her sick, and we leave out dry biscuits for him to snack on, which also makes her sick. It's not like we leave messes out, but even if she smells his food in the AM, which is gross, yeah, but the doors are open and that's just life if you have a pet, she will heave and walk away. Her dad and I both told her if she's unhappy with it, she needs to find someplace else to live, and although we are genuinely sorry she's lost her appetite and has lost weight, we aren't going to change Mango's lifestyle. She has yelled, cursed at us, cried, begged, etc. But no, we are not happy with Mango eating a vegan diet. We don't feed him cheap crap either. We feed him quality cat food that isn't processed or full of sugar or grain. It's pretty much gourmet Gordon Ramsay-worthy cat food. My mother-in-law has waded in after my stepdaughter told her we were being unfair by refusing to let Mango go on her preferred diet for him, and is accusing us of being cruel and short-sighted. She says we are letting her get sick. And that mango won't hurt from a change in diet, but stepdaughter is hurting. Seriously? I've known plenty of vegans and respect their lifestyle, but that is just disgusting and wrong to try and force an animal whose body is specifically designed for meat to change their diet just to appease her personal objections. We as omnivores can make those kinds of choices based off of our beliefs. But animals aren't the same, and they deserve a diet that agrees with them, as nature had intended. I don't feel you are the a-hole, and probably would have suggested the same thing, that she can move out if she's gonna go full drama every time you feed your cat. Our final story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to return a lost dog that was clearly well loved? About 7 months ago, a friend found a dog near her house. I took her in and called animal control. They said to bring her in to look for a microchip. She was underweight with dirty fur. Animal control couldn't find a microchip, so they said I could hold on to her for a week and they would list her on their website, and if nobody claimed her, I could adopt her. So that's exactly what happened. My dog now has shiny fur and is very healthy. She is polite and walks well on a leash. She does a lot of tricks. I have depression and anxiety, and she's my support animal. She's honestly the light of my life. Last month, I joined a Facebook group for the same unusual purebred that my dog is. I posted a picture of her in the group. A woman was tagged, and a few hours later, she DMs me. She said my dog was her dog, and she was so thankful I found her and wanted to arrange to come get her. She offered to pay me for taking good care of her. I thought she was trying to scam me since she lived across the country, but when I looked into it, I found her Instagram with a lot of dog pictures and videos. My dog has very unique markings, so it was unmistakably the same dog as the one in her pictures. My dog is a show champion and had a lot of training to do obedience, agility, and a few others I've never heard of. She has a lot of fancy titles too. My dog was clearly well cared for, well trained, and well loved. She said her house caught fire last year and she lost everything, including my dog who ran away. Nobody knows how she traveled so far or what happened between when she got lost and when my friend found her. She never stopped looking for my dog. She even had a video of my dog as a super cute puppy getting a microchip. No idea why the shelter and my vet couldn't find it, but my dog had one at some point. Here's the part where I might be the a-hole. I told the woman I appreciated the great job she did with my dog for the first few years of her life. She's 5, and I was sorry to hear about her circumstances, but I couldn't give up my beloved girl. She's my support animal, so I'm not even sure I could live without her. I offered to send her pictures regularly, but she turned really nasty. I got tons of hateful messages from people I don't even know. I had panic attacks whenever I got notifications because her friends acted like it's my fault. I didn't choose for this special dog to change my life so much, any more than she chose for my dog to get lost. I ultimately blocked her because she wouldn't leave me alone. Since she was listed with the shelter for the hold period and no microchip was found, I've adopted her and she's mine. I am legally in the right, but am I morally wrong? I know she loves my dog and wants her back, but I can't picture a life without her. Not one where I'm happy anyway. If I could clone my dog and give this chick one, I would. Am I the a-hole if I think about myself and my health and keep my dog, since it's legally my right to anyway? The people of Reddit have decided that you are indeed the a-hole, and I'm sorry, but I have to agree with them. The owner didn't neglect or abandon her dog. Instead, tragic events unfolded in her life, and she's been looking feverishly for her pet the entire time. I'm sure that you've grown attached to the pup, and it's one thing if you could never find the dog's actual owner, but it's selfish to prevent a caring person from reuniting with her animal just so that you can keep her for yourself. Do you guys feel the same way that I do, or do you perhaps feel differently about any of today's stories? I always value the perspective of the community in the comments and welcome you to share your own judgments below. Anyways, that's about all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in with me, Jesse. What did you think about these stories? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and check out what other stories I have for you. Have a beautiful day, and don't be an a-hole. I'll catch you in the next one.